I'm not sure are my other colleagues joining us, Count Corner. I'm glad to be able to speak here today on this as well. And while it's vitally important and very noble that we would have a pension, for employees that are not in the public sector, and very important we would have, but it's just it is coming on top of so many other pieces of regulation and bureaucracy for small business especially, and I speak as one of them myself. I have to declare an interest, and where we have a business with up to 25 employees, and we have had them offered pensions to them over the past 10 years, and they opt in and opt out. But I'm afraid of this big sweeping brush, Minister, that you brought down from I can't say the hills of Cavan, maybe the boggy land or the turf areas of Cavan. One broom sweeps all, and this is going to have a disproportionate effect on businesses, and especially on an arm show. And at the moment, businesses are just hanging on to thinking nails. And we saw Deputy Collins raise it today at Leaders' Questions with the Taoiseach. And quite honestly, the Taoiseach and many other government ministers and many officials don't get it that are being paid for the public post. They don't get it. How difficult it is to keep the Doris Ownta, or Uskill, sorry, Gach Martin. It's just a nightmare. And especially since COVID and Brexit and you name it. And I've just come from a forestry briefing, people who want to plant land, and it's just an impossibility. We're here like a bad record since this government came in, especially Minister Hackett. Forestry has been decimated, and now the knock-on effect is that we won't have the carbon sink from those trees because we don't have the trees planted. I mean, I'm sorry for diversion, but it's all self-employed people in forestry as well, Count Cola. Yeah, I mean, to get a license for forestry now, you must get a license to plant. You must get a license to tin. You must get a license to put in roadways. You must get a license to fell. And there's one other license I missed here. And someone needs to get a license here to insist on common sense in government departments. Because there's no common sense. It's just out the window. And it's gone so bad with regulations. I mean, that kind of carry on. When we said, I suppose, if we can set an issue at all, or the barley Count Corley, you know that, you have an expectation and a right to reap and sow that crop and provide food for and to make your profits if there's a small profit, but more importantly to supply the food chain. What's going on in the forestry is just outrageous. But that's duplicated across many sectors. I mean, rates. I was talking to a businessman this morning who lost 100,000 in his shop, fine big shop, filling station post office, last year. And what happened this year? His rates have been trebled, not doubled, trebled. So there's no correlation between the difficulty of staying in business, keep the doors open, keep the lights on, providing work, getting the contracts, fulfilling the contracts, have the equipment to do them, have the good staff. And they have good staff, and we in our business have great staff, and we thank them, and we could manage without them. But there needs to go forward together here in a measured approach that sit down in small companies, they're understanding there's limits. You just can't say the government can impose here a pension. I heard Deputy Moran, the last speaker, going down the same road as I'm going down with this issue of difficulty in small business. But yet she's supporting it and she's going to vote for it. So, I mean, there's no logic here. The businesses are on their knees and they won't be able to keep going, and they're not able to keep going. And as I said, it's every whole thing is for insurance. We're told that insurance will come down, it's gone up to the roof. Like on such times as you regulate the judiciary and the legal claims process and the whole revolving door situation is unbelievable. Take business and retailers. The amount of pilfering and money and loss of goods. I heard a big shop running recently, but 30% of their business has been. And then the Gardaí are doing their jobs, they cannot bring them to court, but they're out again. Before the Gardaí out of the courthouse, they're out. And they're back out doing it again. So we talk about then, this, which is noble, And I do accept that pensions, the old age pension, a person couldn't live on it, can't live on it, or it's even a couple. So I have some hope, with great difficulty. But unfortunately, if one of them gets sick and one of them passes away, a widow or a widow, they find it extremely difficult to live on the old age pension. And that's driven by a spiralling rate of costs of everything that they consume and need to consume, with the dearest electricity prices in Europe, the dearest fuels, and now we're hit with fuels again, and home heating, now you name it, carbon taxes, you name them. So we badly need common sense, and we badly need an understanding, and some kind of mechanism that they can be an opt-in.
5 minutes is gone.
It is gone, so I'm lucky to have a good...
5 years for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So
no, only four, I think. Okay, don't